What's going on, guys? We are on the Atlantic coast, about 50 miles away from any civilization, on the coast of Liberia and Africa. Well, not really. Yes, we were down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, shooting a couple videos down there. But for this video, we're going to be highlighting our Teton 3400 series backpack and our Genesee Mountain Smith 4-person tent. Let's start off with the backpack. This backpack is very solidly constructed. It is a stiff backpack, so it doesn't fold over. Just adds a little bit more support, makes it a little bit easier to carry. And it's got really thick straps that you can adjust the height on with this adjuster right here. That will make it to where you can put it where it's comfortable on you if you're 6'3" like me, or if you're 5'3". So we got those thick straps. I had about 50 pounds in this and took it for a 10 to 12 mile hike. It was wearing on the shoulders. Obviously, there's not much you can do to change that, but it was fairly comfortable. And I think a lot of that is because we have a big lumbar support right here, and we have a gut strap. This strap that clips around the gut like that, it sort of spreads out the weight, puts it a little bit more on your hips. As far as storage goes, we have two main compartments, and you can actually split up those main compartments into one big compartment if you have something that's a little bit taller. But the main compartment goes in up the top, goes down about 3/4 of the way through the bag. This is for, I put my tent in there. I put the Genesee tent in there. Fits quite nicely. I also have room for a stovetop grill, about yay big, and some clothes, some things like that. And then on our bottom portion, you can put whatever other gear you want to put in there. It's maybe, 24 cubic inches or so. What I also appreciate about this is the exterior space. So we have two pockets on the sides. These are great for water bottles. That's what I used them for. And then we also have our bungee straps. The bungee straps are adjustable. You can fit things in here, snug them up. It's going to hold any other smaller loose gear. We have these buckles, lots of buckles on the bag, to where you can be strapping things on the outside of the bag. So if you have a big heavy sleeping bag like I do, strap it on the back, as long as it's not raining or anything like that, to where you want it to be dry. It carries nice. So I like this bag overall. It's probably the nicest hiking pack I've ever had. And I'm actually going to be taking it up to Alaska here in a few weeks. So be sure to tune into those videos where we're going to be looking at some other stuff. So the bag, solid, no complaints on it. If I have any complaints in the future after getting more wear on it, I'll let you guys know, but nothing as of yet. The Genesee tent, I was looking for a smaller tent. I have a big 12-person tent. It sets up about 16 feet long and 10 feet wide. It's the Cadillac of tents, but it's 50 pounds and it packs down about that big. So if you are wanting to do any backpacking, it's not very good. If you are going out on taking a car to where you're camping, that's fine. But I needed something smaller. I didn't want to go with a single person tent. I wanted to have something with a little more room. So I went with a 4-person backpacking tent. This is a Genesee brand. It holds up pretty well. It sets up within literally 5 minutes, which you'll see here in just a little bit. The tent poles are aluminum. Everything is super lightweight. The focus of this tent is to be lightweight. So it is, I think, 7 pounds. That's all. When you compare that to the 10-person tent, which is about 50 pounds. It seems to be pretty solid. The aluminum poles, it's not the sturdiest tent I own, but it is, for its intended purpose, it works very well. We've had it in, probably 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and it held up okay. The setup is pretty easy because it is so lightweight. Even if it is a bit breezy, because setting up a tent in the wind can be a bear. As far as waterproof, we did have an rainstorm. We did stay dry. I still spray a aerosol waterproofer on all my tents. It's my habit. I think it does give you an extra layer of protection. If you have a campsite that floods, you're going to be better off if the floor of your tent has been waterproofed, because you can get water that seeps through even on a high dollar tent. So while yes, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to need it, I've had enough experiences out in the rain where I know that I want it. So I want that extra protection. But overall, this is a good tent. It seems solid from what I've used it. Once again, just like the bag, as far as the durability goes, we'll let you know. So far, no complaints though. But we will be showing you here in just a moment how easy this thing is to set up. We did pack this up a little bit and show you that. So let's get back to Myrtle Beach, where we had a little bit more sun, a little bit warmer, and a little bit more things to do than out here in the middle of nowhere, where I got a cornfield and a horse pasture on my sides. So stay tuned. All right, so we made it back to our campsite. Drove in here up from the boardwalk in the Myrtle Beach State Park. So we got our Teton backpack. Really, with that gut strap we were talking about earlier, you can carry this thing for mile after mile and no strain on your back whatsoever. And it carries a ton of gear. We actually packed up our Mountain Smith Genesee 4-person tent in this. And not only did we get the tent, we could fit a camp grill. We got our propane butane mix that we're gonna hook up to our camp stove later today. And still have plenty of room to spare for cookware, whatever supplies you want, compasses, extra clothes, towels, whatever you need. So the main thing we're gonna look at right now is this 4-person tent and how easy it is to get set up. You see, it comes in a pretty light package, about 7 pounds overall. That means you can carry it for longer distances without any issues. Everything gets packed up pretty easy. Unlike most tents, it actually goes back in the bag with relative ease. It only took me, this is the second time I've set it up, it only took me about 10 minutes to get set up before, so let's see how fast we can do it now. Now this tent does use 2 sets of aluminum poles. This is different from a lot of tents where you get fiberglass. The aluminum, it's more lightweight, still pretty dependable, still pretty sturdy, so we're not giving up any structural, we're not having any structural decreases by going with a lighter weight product. And that's really all it takes to get the main structure of the tent. You'll notice that this doesn't have sleeves that you have to get the poles through. It just has these clips here. That makes setup a whole lot easier. So instead of trying to fish the lines or fish the braces through sleeves to get it lined up and get everything set up right, you can just set your poles and then clip the tent to the braces. Now, we're not gonna be putting on the rain guard today, and we're really not sure how well this thing's gonna do in wet weather yet. It's been pretty dry and sunny while we've been down here, but once we get back, we'll be sure to test that. So stay tuned and we will show you that here in just a little bit. If you like this video and want to see others like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to purchase any of the gear seen here or check out our campground blog, where I review every campground we visit, go to testoutfitters.com.
Tried, tested, and approved. testoutfitters.com.